Good to have you back on the channel. In the recent ongoing development, the China Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, known as CIPS, is gaining prominence, more so as a cross-border payment service. Hence the speculation that it could replace the SWIFT International Cross-Border Payment System soon. Well, stay tuned. Let us examine the prospect of the China ONSHORE, the YUAN clearing and settlement system, the CIPS. And in so doing, we shall analyze the composition and what CIPS has got to offer and how. So, grab a cuppa, of course a cup of tea, and then subscribe. And perhaps you are wondering and want to know whether the CIPS payment services is new. No, sir. No, ma. You see, according to my findings, in 2012, the PBOC launched the construction of CIPS Phase 1. And on October 8, 2015, CIPS Phase 1 was put into operation with 19 direct participants and 176 indirect participants from 50 countries and regions all over 6 continents. And by March 2016, SWIFT and CIPS signed a memorandum of understanding. Okay, let us fast forward to 2019. And by the end of 2019, 1017 banking institutions from 59 BRI countries and regions, including mainland China, Hong Kong, SAR, Macau, SAR, and Taiwan, ran their businesses via CIPS. Moving on. Okay, here's the key. The information you just had will or should inform you that CIPS have been operating and in collaboration with SWIFT since 2016. What am I trying to say? Let me break it down. You see, both CIPS and SWIFT have cooperated for years on the integration of the two systems. Okay, now. And perhaps you don't know about SWIFT. Okay, let me tell you. You see, Belgium-based SWIFT is the main cross-border communication channel for global institutions. It is used by more than 11,000 companies and organizations around the world. The question is, what triggers the possibility of the adoption of CIPS? Why would some country now think of adopting CIPS instead of the SWIFT payment system? Good question. Well, one major reason is because of the sanction placed on Russia by Western nations. The Europeans and the US recently announced a harsh set of sanctions to punish Russia for its invasion of Ukraine. And the sanctions block some major banks in Russia from transacting businesses using the SWIFT International Payment System. So, what is the consequence of these sanctions? Well, to inform you, the sanction will not only affect Russia's economy, but will also have more or less a direct negative impact on China's economy. Why? Okay, stay with me. Now, let me break it down using the business activities between China and Russia. And again, not my words. Okay, now, I hope you can read what's on the screen. It says in 2021, Russia imported around $73 billion worth of product from China, which accounted for roughly a quarter of the value of Russia's total imports, according to the trade map of the International Trade Center, a joint agency of the World Trade Organization and United Nations. And then China export to Russia were 50.58 billion in 2020, according to United Nations Comtrade database on international trade. Listen to this. Here's the total summary of the transaction between the two countries. Total trade between China and Russia jumped 35.9% last year to a record of $146.9 billion. Wow. This is according to China custom data, with Russia serving as a major source of oil, gas, coal, agricultural commodity, running a trade surplus with China. Okay, now I'm convinced you got the picture of why it has become imperative for China to find another alternative to the SWIFT payment system. Because before the sanction, 96% of the transaction between Russia and China is carried out using the SWIFT international payment system. Wow. Okay, here is the $1 million question. Is it possible for CIPS, yes, to replace SWIFT? Okay, let me start by telling you the most recent rapid growth in CIPS payment system. The volume, just bear with me, let me bring it up. The volume of payment handled by the system, let me take it to the side. You see, according to this report, China cross-border interbank payment CIPS, which is administered by the People's Bank of China, ended 2.2 million payment transactions last year with a total value of 45.2 trillion yuan. That is China money. The volume of CIPS payment traffic last year rose by about 20%, while the total value of transaction was up by over 30%. Growth was particularly strong in the final quarter of 2020. That's very impressive. Okay, listen to this. That said, despite the rapid growth in CIP payment system, the volume of payment handled by system is, I'm going to repeat that, is tiny relative to the volume handled by the SWIFT system. Wow. However, there are other challenges that CIP is facing. Let's look at a few of them. Okay, now, from what we got here, this is Forbes, if I'm right, report. Just hold on, it's playing up. Yeah. Now, let's look at these challenges facing. It says, however, with yuan, which is Chinese, sorry for my pronunciation, let me repeat that. However, with yuan still far from a key global currency, foreign banks may not feel an urgent need for an alternative messaging network, especially serving Chinese entities outside the region. Wow. And again, indirect CIPS participants still need to go through SWIFT to complete settlement. A person with knowledge of CIPS operation said that it will take time to switch from one system to another. Okay. In case you do not know, Russia Central Bank, okay, let's bear with me. Russia Central Bank has also created SPFS system since 2014 to transfer of financial message, an equivalent of the SWIFT. And to inform you, both Russia and China are planning to integrate the CIPS. Yes, you heard me. Which is the China and the Russia SPFX cross-border network into bank payment system. Wow. So, what do you think? Do you believe CIPS could replace SWIFT in the future? More so because it could be less, yes, it could be less susceptible to the influence of Western nations. Though some school of thought have argued that CIPS is a way of diversifying away from the dollar, the yen, other currency, etc., etc. Well, if you ask me my opinion, I say finger cross. I hope you find this video useful. Okay, here comes the best part. Subscribe, like, and comment. Remember, the goal is to generate wealth, build companies, and then create jobs. Bye now. See you soon.